live. Let's see what happens. Well, hello there. How is everyone? How are you guys doing? We need to get ourselves some music going. Let's get that. Oh, gonna lurk and nap. Okay, Casey Cake, glad to have you. Also, everyone from the. Let me get myself over here. Let me move over to the right stream. There we go. Hello, everyone. So glad to have you, especially the folks that are joining us over on YouTube for the first time. Hey, Squirty on the Twitch side. Toho, thank you so much for swinging in. I'm going to get some music started. Unfortunately, my console appears to have died. Hang on a second while I whack something. Custom maintenance. Oh no. Oh no, my power supply has failed. Okay, I'm going to steal it from the Super Nintendo. 1 second. It would appear my Super Nintendo unplugged. Okay. All right. Yes, my power supply failed. Yay, great. So apparently I have a kink in the power supply. We're going to play Super Mario World right quick, and there's a reason for that. Give me just a second here to get everything set up. I thought everything was working, but apparently while I was doing the pre-stream, my console died. Don't worry, Mario is just fine. Mario will be okay. But we're going to have some fun with this. So the very first thing I'm going to do here is I am going to hop into a terminal here. We're going to delete the contents of the first save in this cartridge. So that'll happen right here. You see it will delete the save file. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is run this movie. And we'll just play a little bit of Super Mario World. In the meantime, welcome to the stream today. We are going to have a lot of fun in Windows XP, of all things. All right, what did I miss on the Windows side? Good old technical difficulties. Yes, that is how it goes. So I do have the chat over on the side. I don't know if it's perfectly aligned, but it's good enough. Yes, the video quality is a little compromised on this. Don't worry about that. This video console, this specific console is not used for video very much. You know, Toho, we're always going to have some weird problems. Okay, what did I miss over on the TAS side? The Twitch side. Let's see. Yes, in order to manipulate Minesweeper on Windows XP, we first have to TAS Super Mario World. So this tool-assisted speedrun is a lot of fun. You're going to see there's some Yoshi shenanigans. Mario is technically riding a Yoshi right now. You just can't see it. Watch right here. There he is. Welcome to Total's SNES stereo player. The 16-bit 32 kilohertz stereo PCEM audio is streaming directly through the controller ports. Yes, it is. Weird as that is, that's what's happening. All right, let's get back to it. We're going to go to P3 here and get out of studio mode. So now you can see that's down in the corner. I'm not so sure this is exactly the song I was looking for. So I might switch it over. It's Pony Island. Let me get the song display up, make sure that's running. Just double check that. Sockets. Okay, yeah, I know it's still running. So the song display is up and running like it's supposed to be. Yay. All right. Well, we just played Super Mario World, and now we're listening to music. Welcome, B. Jonas. Glad to have you over here on the YouTube side. Yeah, the mouse pulling on XP is a blocking call. We discovered this the hard way. Yeah, Gabramax, I agree. This is still just really good stuff. Okay, well, we are going to dive straight in. So, we're going to play back a tool-assisted speedrun of Minesweeper, but to get there, we're going to be tinkering around with Windows XP a little bit. Now, this is not going to be high-speed action. I'm going to pause on the first frame. I'm going to hit Start. I'm going to show the input editor. We'll put that down here. All right, there's that. Get this moved over. Like right there. That looks about right, right? You guys can see everything on the screen there. Let's move this over a little bit. Yeah, right about there. Yeah. All righty. So, we're going to get started on playing back this tool-assisted speedrun of Minesweeper, but it's not going to be what you expect. It's definitely not going to be what you expect. So here goes. I'm going to press the run button. What? I'm going to skip that. Come on. Did it skip? Okay, there we go. Chun-Li I'm much more happy about. That's better. Okay. So we have Windows XP in the background here. Yes, Bad P. In fact, if you were booting Windows and you moved your mouse around, it would make things go slower. So you'll see that as we're flying by here, the mouse coordinates are resolutely 0, 0. What's really funny, though, is you have to click somewhere for Windows to notice that you have the mouse. I don't know if that's libTAS doing that or something else, but... what's the heart in the corner of the YouTube chat display? An icon I cannot make go away. Wish I could. I'll have to figure out some other way of representing chat. So, yeah, it's like reactions. So people are clicking on the heart, and it's making hearts fly up. I can't make them go away. Okay, so we are booting Windows. Let me just move this over ever so slightly. I'm flipping a tiny portion of that on the stream. Right about there. About there. Okay. Yeah. Just ad block them. Maybe. We'll see. All right, so this tool-assisted speedrun is starting... It's going to start Minesweeper as fast as it possibly can. So we've started Minesweeper, and I think this movie does actually click into Minesweeper. So as you can see, let me back up in the input view here really quick. Make it a little bit wider here. There we go. So right here, we go from not pressing anything. We start pressing mouse button 1. And the reason for that is, for whatever reason, libTAS would not recognize the input for some reason until we did that. Later on, right here, at frame 7129, we're pressing the Windows key, which here is represented as Super L. Sometimes it's called Windows key, sometimes it's called Super. Mac would call this the Command key. It's all the same thing. And then the R key here, and this was what allowed us to run a command prompt, like the box that comes up to allow you to run a specific application. We typed in WinMine, so we did W-I-N-M on one frame. We had to release I. So we had to let go of I, press I again, and then press N again as well. And for some reason, it didn't like pressing the E, putting the E in the same line, because it would end up putting them in the wrong order. It would do the E before the I think. So it ended up being WinMine, which was not helpful. But it does do the return after the E. I don't get it. Anyway, so we did that. And then we started moving the mouse cursor around. And that worked. We were able to get this particular board. Now, I'm just going to take over for a second. We're going to go to recording mode for just a second. We're kind of toward the end of the movie here, and that's all right. I'm just going to continue playing here a little bit to show that... Oops, there it is. Whoa, hey, buddy. Hey, come back here. All right, get back over here. Whoa, hey, what are you doing here? Wow, my mouse pointer is someplace really silly. Wow. The mouse acceleration is incredible. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. This is different than it was before. When we were playing yesterday, it wasn't like this. Okay, not going to be able to show you that. I mean, it's absurdly bad, but it's usually not that bad. All right. Well, there's one other thing that we need to look at right quick. And that is that I think that the image I'm using right now is not the best image to be using. So we're going to stop. We're going to stop libTAS. Say, no, don't save the movie file. I don't want to do that. By the way, nothing we just did made any changes to the disk. We're preventing writing to the disk. So we've told libTAS to just not do that. Got ourselves some music from the TASBot Volume 1 soundtrack. If you want to check that out, you can head on over to Bandcamp, look up TASBot Volume 1 from John Gabriel and Whimsy Heath. You can hear it playing right now. Just making sure I'm not missing anything from chat. You're plugging in a keyboard had a random chance of blue screening windows. Those were the bad days. Try to tell reaction, control panel overlay, live chat render display name to your stylus. B. Jonas, tell me about it after stream. I'll fight with it then. Yeah, so, some versions of Excel run VB script faster than others. Interesting. Good old Chicago, yeah. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. If I go to here, I have a couple of different Windows images that I've made, and the one that I'm using right now, I don't actually know if I've done weird things to or not. So I'm going to swap out the image and see if this set of input still works. So I have this Windows XP fresh. This is a fresh install. We're going to copy that. Fresh.img over the top. Actually, let me do an MD5 sum here really quick. Actually, I'll do a SHA-1 sum. Okay, so there's all of my image files. If I do a SHA-1 sum against Windows XP Diablo.img, this one should have Diablo installed in it. This is going to take just a little bit of time. It's kind of a big image file. These are also not sparsely packed, I guess is the right way to phrase it. So that was the Diablo one. Now we're going to do fresh, and I bet it'll be a different value. That's interesting that 2010 would be faster. And yeah, B. Jonas, we were sort of kind of messing around with a tablet, sorta. Okay, so we got a different value as expected. Now let's just do the base. Let's see. Actually, I'll do this one. Diablo 1.0 install.img. Just check this one really quick. And then we'll finally check the Windows XP.img. I want to just make sure I know which one it currently is. Turn this music down just a touch. Okay, Windows XP.img. Okay, so we got this 5.8, which is this tells me something interesting. This tells me that what we were just doing. So we're currently using this Windows XP.img file. This is the image that's being booted. It's what's specified in the Windows XP.cfg file. And I can see here that what we were doing was one that we'd already installed Diablo to. So what I want to do is see if Windows boots differently if I use this Windows XP Fresh. So we're going to copy that right over the top. So CP Windows XP Fresh. And we're just going to copy it right over the top of that Windows XP.img. I could use symlinks, but I don't want to mess with that. Yes, we are live, Kara. Welcome to the stream. Feel free to ask me anything. I'll do my very best to explain what's going on. And, of course, I just said it's live for the people right now on February 23rd, 2024. If you're watching this at a later date, then me saying it's live is not the same. Okay, so my prediction is that this will desync. Only one way to find out, but... All right, so we're going to start the same exact movie, Minesweeper.ltm, which you saw before, launched Minesweeper. We're going to do that again, but with this other image. So I'm going to hit Start. It's going to start paused. I'll drag the window back over. Kara, I'm convinced. All right. Doesn't remember my window position, but that's all right. I've learned the hard way that it's a bad idea to load this save, but it's also a really great idea to make this as kind of like a safety save. So I'm going to save a slot and save a state in slot 1, and let's now continue the boot. Okay, let's see. Where'd my YouTube chat go? There we go. Properties. I'm just going to take a quick look at this. I'm going to try to break YouTube chat based on what B. Jonas is talking about. I don't think it's going to work. Because I don't think that's designed for this. But, okay, maybe it worked. All right, B. Jonas, I think maybe that did work. Okay, the FPS is higher because the system is doing less, and it's actually messing around with the clock. Okay, we're going to pause right here. I just want to make a safety save. It's going to be a little bit early. Let's make it in slot 2. So you can see the save is now in slot 2. I'm going to make this window a little bit shorter so we can see all of it without having to worry about paging back and forth. All right, there's that. And I'm going to resume. We are still in playback mode. So I'm actually going to do one other thing. I want to be able to show you what's going on here. So let's just move this just ever so slightly to get a little bit more on the screen. So this is showing that our current FPS is 54 out of 100. It looks like hiding the heart worked, but I almost feel bad for having done that. B. Jonas, thank you so much for finding that, by the way. Cub1Con, I'm glad you're in the future. All right, so now that we've made that save state, from here on out, if I let it free run, we can kind of go back to that state at any time. And we might be editing things. You'll see what I mean in a second. Ooh, this is a nice song. And yeah, this is using PCEM inside of libTAS. Now, this section runs slower because it's emulating quite a lot of disk activity and things like that. Don't feel bad, huh? Okay. Just now, I paused the emulation. Just now, we told it to click here. And it brought up the super much, much earlier because I think it's farther into the boot process than before. So here's the thing. Now I'm going to enter recording mode. One recording mode here. And hopefully my mouse is not completely insane. It is. It's still nuts. All right. Woo, okay, all right. All right, we're going to load that save state and try this again. So I'm going to go backward in time in playback mode. So playback mode means that I won't nuke the things that happen in the future. So you'll see all the stuff that will still happen. So we're gonna just resume playback and come back into that again. But what's interesting is that we're seeing a different time from this different image is taking a different amount of time to boot, is what I mean. The tools that we added for Diablo that I accidentally left in when I was poking at Minesweeper yesterday slowed down booting Windows in a subsequent boot. So we may have to twiddle with this a little bit. Also, I don't know what the impact is going to be. Oh, I know what I need to do. Input, instead of mouse relative mode, I need to uncheck that. That's why it went insane. Okay, so here, let's just fast forward down to this. I'll just wait for it to get Windows launched. Okay, Now I'm going to say recording mode. I'm not necessarily going to make any changes, but okay, now things are same. Okay, so what I want to point out is that we got this layout. We got a big group all the way in this upper right corner, right? The reason that's important is because if you were watching yesterday's stream, this is not what we saw. We saw a completely different layout. So, what this is basically reinforcing is that how Windows boots affects what you see, even if it's on the exact same frame from boot. Because from Windows' perspective, it is a different amount of time that's elapsed. Dual input, more like dueling input. That's fascinating. Fun fact, the reason you have to click is because the mouse driver isn't even loaded until it gets an event from a mouse. That is fascinating. I didn't know that. Hiding the heart works well in biology? I'm not so sure of that. I mean, certainly protecting the heart, but we're really good at that. That is funny. Okay. Yes, so regarding how task timing works, it includes the boot time for this. However, I'm going to make a case that it shouldn't. So, allow me to pull up something ancient, and I mean ancient. We're talking pretty dang old. I'm going to pull this one up here, and I'm going to go to my own YouTube channel here, and I'm going to go to one of my oldest videos. All right. Let's go to videos and search for NetHack on my channel. Let's just go to this video from 10 years ago. This might beep, but I've got it muted. Okay, so as you can see, this started from boot. This started from boot. Let's just run through that again. So I believe I can press period to advance one frame at a time. So this was a tool-assisted speedrun of NetHack I started working on over 10 years ago. We'll get back to that sometime. There's progress already in motion. If you would like to be part of that, head over to discord.gg/TASBot. Ping me there. I will get you redirected to the folks that can help. But we would like to make a tool-assisted speedrun of NetHack. And this is a 14-year-old project that we're still working on. Oh, yeah, this is live. Yeah, no, this is live, Hinterlands. So glad to have you here. You're welcome to ask anything you like. I know for a lot of folks on YouTube, this is the first time you're seeing me interactively, and that's okay. It's a little bit different experience than what you'll get on a polished YouTube video, and that's all right. I hope that you still enjoy this, and I hope that you still stick around. So, oh, I'm glad that you're enjoying that, Hinterlands. This is a PG stream, so I do technically ask folks to keep language to a minimum, but I don't see ways on YouTube to enforce that. So, yeah, just self-polish, self-police. All right. So, yeah, this is a tool-assisted speedrun of NetHack, but what I wanted to point out is that this one does, in fact, start from the boot. You can see the old VGA BIOS and stuff like that happening. It has to load FreeDOS, it loads copyright stuff, it loads all of the bypassing of AutoExec, it has to run HDPMI 32 in order to run NetHack first. So it has to do all of this. It also set the date before we got here. So if we were to run a date check, we would see that. By the way, this tool-assisted speedrun is nuts. It's absolutely insane. For those who are interested in Diablo or NetHack TAS stuff, just let me know on discord.gg/TASBot. Hey, Ice Dream Streams. Kira, you felt kind of scammed. I hope you're feeling better now. Oh no! Windows will suspend input, suspend drivers for input devices? That's no fun. It boots under a second if you set it up right. Yeah, B. Jonas is right. Oh, thanks. Glad to hear that, Kira. Okay, so I'm showing you this not because I want you to see NetHack, but mostly just to demonstrate. Hey, this is how a lot of stuff was happening in the past. Now I'm gonna I'm going to do something. I'm going to pull up TAS videos. We're going to go to movies. Let's go to, I don't know, movie class. No, I want to go to publications. Let's do that. Publications by console. So we have a bunch of these on TAS videos. It's a lot of different consoles that you can do. And one of them is... Oh, we have Mac OS on here. Do we have any that are published? Now I want to know. I got nerd sniped. Yeah, last year there was Mac OS Broken Breakout. Anyway. Okay, Yonoid 2 as well. All right, but I'm actually after DOS. IBM PC. Okay, these are all lumped into the same category. So this has movies, DOS, Doom, Windows, Linux. I'm only interested in just the Windows and DOS ones. Actually, I'm not even interested in the Windows ones because the only Windows ones on there are Hourglass, and Hourglass is not interesting. Okay, and just to kind of find the most interesting stuff, I'm going to sort by highest rating. Let's do that. I'm glad that you like stream highlights. I'm super ADHD anyway. Well, B Jonas, that's referring to my re-recording software that's really silly. But in DOS, you could make a tool assisted speedrun that syncs even if it did do crazy things. Okay, so the most popular run in DOS is Out of This World. So I just picked this one. Also, Prince of Persia is an amazing run. Oh, Jazz Jackrabbit. Oh, these are all good. I helped contribute to Doom. So this is one that I did, dwangoAC and Slamo. Slamo did a lot more than I did, but I did contribute to this. I'm not going to show that on this stream, though. Oh, Jazz Jackrabbit, all mixed up. Okay. Anyway, there's some fun stuff on here, but we're going to go all the way to the top because I like the idea of showing off Out of This World. It was such a strange game. So I'm going to go here, and we're going to pause on the first frame. Well, no, we're not. I want to see if it puts the... Yes, it does. So, as part of the timing, it waits for the PC to boot. And it does the entire PC booting before it does anything else. And it even has to do some X copying for some level copying. I mean, that's interesting. Wow. So it's almost installing the game as part of the TAS. Okay. It declares that the game, the length is 9 minutes and 56 seconds. And my bet is that when we look at it, we'll find that the amount of time it took to do all this file copying and the amount of time it took to boot Windows was included in the TAS timing. But I'm not sure. My memory's a little fuzzy on this. So we're going to find out. I'm just going to double check chat here really quick. Well, thank you so much for that. That's quite the compliment, Kara. I do my very best to try to keep things interesting. It helps if... What the heck? Oh, the anti-piracy stuff. That was entertaining. So yeah, we're now at the beginning of the run. Now the question is, when does the TAS timing start? So let's go to the author notes on here. Let's go to discuss. I'm also going to pull up the publication page. So the timing on here lists it as 9 minutes and 56 seconds. Now, I'm going to see if the author's notes say anything about the installation. And let me just quickly check chat, though. Oh, yeah, I'm always up to something nerdy. I don't even have TASBot on stream, really. He's over there blinking. Like, he's right here. He's down there in the corner. But he's not doing a ton. Hey, Kenry Deo, thank you so much for that 5-stream streak. Really appreciate that over on the Twitch side. What did I miss on Twitch chat? Out of This World is very hard. I don't know about Another World. Maybe was it called Another World in or did I say another world on accident? Anyway, was Out of This World called Another World elsewhere? Not sure. Okay, it's the US name. Thanks for clarifying, Heavy Poda. I'm so glad that TASBot makes you smile. Okay, so this first set of notes doesn't seem to be about the information I was looking for. Okay. So there was good old days, routing bot, platform was on an AMD Ryzen Threadripper. Okay, sure. Config file for PCEM. Okay, so this was done in PCEM. So this is a modern run. So this is exactly what I was hoping for. So this was submitted just last year. It was PCEM for DOS. Okay. Oh, I see what you mean. It even says right here, Another World, aka Out of This World. Okay. All right. So there's a config file that was included in, so I will make sure I will include that as well. Updating movie file to fix the platform. Got it to... Okay, so someone else got it to sync. Okay. I don't see anything about whether or not the beginning is included. A soap opera? A soap opera. Made them have to change the name. But in which direction? To another world or away from another world? Anyway. And yeah, that is a bit of a CPU flex. 64 cores, 128 threads. Good golly, what the heck, man? I'm glad that they had that hardware available. Okay. So, I see that the timing on here is 9:56. I'm not seeing anything specific about it. It just says that the start type is power on. So frame rate is 100. Re-record count is let's see. Frame count is 59. Okay, so let's just do some calculations here. Calculator. If our frame rate is 100, and our frame count is 59,654. Divided by, wait, what do I want to do? Oh gosh, this is, ow. Oh, suddenly my brain just seized up. Okay, here's the math I want to do. How many seconds is 59,654 frames if there are 100 frames per second, but there are 60 seconds instead of 100 in it? Someone who's better at math? This is the worst part of having dyscalculus. So divide by 100 would tell me how many... Well, okay, maybe I do that and then by 60. 9.94. Okay, yeah, okay. That adds up. 9.94. Okay, but here's a discrepancy. Here it says 9 minutes and 56 seconds. Here it says 9 minutes and 94 seconds. So the numbers aren't the same. Okay. All right. So, that's 9.94 minutes. Oh, 94th of a minute. Oh, that would make sense, which would be 56. Okay, yeah. Right. Hi, everyone who is so much better at math than I am. I'm not bad at math. I'm just bad at math. I know that didn't make sense, but bear with me. I'm not necessarily always the sharpest when it comes to thinking through my math problems. Anyway, that is 94th of a minute. Okay, so now the question is this frame count the... all right, let's just download this file. But what I'm basically picking up on is that the length of the movie... Let's edit... Let's just extract that. Sure. Okay. Okay, a zip with a zip within a zip is kind of silly. Okay, open with Archive Manager again. Okay, well, that's fine. Wait, was this the actual movie or was this the verification movie? All right, well. Can I do it this way? Nope, it doesn't like it. Okay. So the LTM file knows that there's something in it, but it doesn't know what to do with it. All right, how about this? How about if I stop this? I just killed my Windows system entirely. And over here, let's see, PCEM, we're just going to kill you. Nope, don't save anything. I don't want to save anything. Let's browse to that file. And that file was this. Okay, frame count, 59654. Here is our input editor, and it shows all of the inputs that they used. So there's frame 0, frame 1, all the way to the end. So we've got all the way to the end. It is in fact. Okay. So everything that I'm seeing here says that the operating system boot length, the game installation length, it all factors in to the timing that TAS Videos is using here. So it does matter how long it takes for the game for Windows to hit the desktop. So things matter. Now, let's change another variable. Remember how we changed the variable of going to a clean install. Let me see if I can just type this in. Okay. I should not have done that. All right. So instead of that one, we are going to open, let's just go here to dev. I will pay attention to chat in just a jiffy, so hang with me for a moment. Let's go to WinXP and go to Minesweeper again. Okay. Now, I'm going to pay attention to chat in just a second, but check this out. We know from earlier tests that if we go to, let's see, emulator resources, Windows, if we boot at a different time, the boot time will change. And right now, we've set the date to the day that Windows XP came out. October 25th, 2001. A day that will live in infamy. At least to anyone who hates chiclet interfaces. So, we can already tell, because of earlier testing, that Windows takes a different amount of time to boot based on when you start it. And the time that seems to start the fastest, at least on this chart, is 51.1 is 1700. So let's just copy that really quick. We're going to set that time here. So there's that, right? So that's going to be 2023, 11, 14. That, for whatever reason, booted faster than 2001. Now, when I go to play back this run, so let's actually do that right now, and then I'll pay attention to chat, I promise. Let's pull this up here, pull this up here. I've got my input editor. I'm going to hit start in playback mode, and it'll nuke this time, right? It set the time back to 2001. But here in a second, I'm going to put it back. And while Windows is booting, I'll pay attention to chat, because I haven't looked over yet. Okay, so check this out. We are in playback mode, but I believe it should be possible to paste that value in and hit set. And let's see what happens if I advance one frame. Does it keep it or does it nuke it? It nuked it. Bummer. All right, let's hack the file. We're going to hit stop. No, I don't want to save the movie file. I do want to go into, let's see, home dev. This is super tiny. Dev, there we go. WinXP, Minesweeper. We're going to copy Minesweeper. Just do it by date modified. I'll look at chat in a second. Don't worry, I'll get there. Minesweeper.ltm, we're going to copy that. Oops. I accidentally hit copy twice, and it said another copy because because Linux is much more creative than Windows. So we're going to say that's Minesweeper, but in 2023. Let's open with the Archive Manager and open that file. Nope, it can't do it. All right. I believe that I can do this. Minesweeper, but in 2023, into temp, cd. Unzip, does that work? Okay, ls Minesweeper. Can I type unzip? Does it work? Okay, I thought these were lightly edited zip files. Okay. Let me quickly look up the information on this. I am going to pause and take a look at chat because I probably missed a bunch of really important things. Yes, I'm great at math until I actually have to use it, especially on stream under stress. Yes, I'm on Service Pack 3, by the way, Kaira. Kira, so the part of it is figuring out when to first move the mouse. Part of it is figuring out what's the most optimal time to start a tool-assisted speedrun, since the booting of Windows is currently accounted for in the length recorded for TAS Videos purposes, which I'm starting to think is a bad idea, but I don't exactly know how else to handle it, so we're going to have to consider that. Okay, let me see what I missed in chat. Oh, Mr. King is here. Glad to see you. I'm not bad with math. I'm bad around math? I don't know. Okay, I'm bad with math. Let's go with I'm bad with math. I'm not bad at math. I'm bad with math. Yeah, time math gets real rough in some disciplines. Must agree, Mr. King. You heard about it from an astrophysics professor in your D&D group? First of all, serious nerd cred for having an astrophysics professor in your D&D group. That combination of words is pure distilled geekdom in ways that I cannot match. And trust me, that's saying something. I have a robot that plays video games for charity, so that's some serious geekdom there, Mr. King. Yeah, it's okay. I'm so glad you're around. I hope your move is going well, by the way. The GM is the only person without a grad degree. Oh my gosh. Okay. Back to the YouTube chat. I'm not used to this back and forth on the YouTube versus Twitch chat thing, by the way. Still getting used to that. Let's see. Right? Yeah, even if it is scuffed. I kind of... I'm on the fence here because I'll show you one of the problems that we're running into in just a second. As soon as I figure out how to handle this LTM format. Okay. What I'm going to do here is go back to LTM format. The LTM format is documented on this page. Okay. So we are on 1.3.6 and later. It's actually a tar.gz. I've been trying to unzip it. It's a tar.gz. Okay, so instead of using unzip, I'm going to use... Okay, I can use gunzip, exclamation point $. Okay. Oh, that's not the last thing I did. Okay, whatever. Unknown suffix. Okay, what do I need to do? gunzip needs an argument. Dash D? No. I just want to extract this thing. Well, let's try. Nope, that's not it either. Okay. This is usually how I do it. I don't usually use gunzip, but... Okay, well, that worked. Okay. All right, so that did work. So now we have... inputs, editor.ini, config.ini, annotations.txt. Okay. So let's just pop this open with config.ini. Okay, here's our frame count, our initial time. Our initial time right now in seconds is currently this, and we're going to change that. Let me embiggen this screen for just a little bit. Embiggen. That's a fun word. Say it with me. Embiggen. We're going to go back to the... Windows, let's see, there's LTM format. I probably closed it. There it is. Okay, the time that worked the fastest for the author was 1700. So, I wonder if I were to change this from LTM to tar.gz, if it would just magically allow me to edit it in line. Let's do that first, because that'll save me a lot of time if I'm doing frequent edits. So mv minesweeper to minesweeper.tar.gz. Let's go back into our visual editor, go into our temp directory, which I created. Open with Archive Manager. Yes, now it's much happier. So now I can just go in directly into the archive. I can go to the config. I can open it with, sure, NeoVim is fine. And I can embiggen that window. All right. And I see that the initial time is right now 10039 blah, 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 blah. 1039752 matches. So this value is the one we want to mess with. So we're going to change that in the file to this. Update the files there. We'll close that. Now we're just going to mv minesweeper dot LTM. I swear I'm not dangerous. Okay, let's unembiggen that window. What is the opposite of embiggen? Insmallen? if I am, maybe I should just speak in English. It would probably be a better choice. Okay. So now that we've done that, I'm going to load that movie, and it will preserve the time that we just set. So browse Minesweeper, but in 2023. Now we can see the time is 2023. We're going to start, and let's see what the impact is on how fast it boots. Okay, back to chat. On the... Oh, let me move this over and start the run. Also, I'm going to make my safety save just to make sure. There's my safety save. I am going to unpause and we'll let that free run in the background. Okay, one more down. All righty. Right about there. Okay. And let me catch up with chat as fast as I can. So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly how to handle the boot aspect, but you're going to see some really interesting stuff when we do this test. Use ACE on startup to load a save state where you're already on the desktop. That's kind of funny. Toho was correct. I was using it wrong. Debiggen. I do like debiggen. Inbiggen and debiggen. That is what you do in Quake. Yeah, all right. So we are currently at a time of 48 seconds elapsed. And we are already at the welcome screen. I'm going to make another safety save. Saving slate 2. Okay, now continue forward. You know, I say nonsense all the time. Okay, we are now at 52 seconds. Sure enough, we were at 51 seconds, and we got to the desktop. Now, by this point, we're already... You can see it just under the 3FX dingbat little thing in the notifications area. Next, it's going to load the speaker. And we still haven't even hit Control-R yet. So, while moving the mouse around is significant, it's not nearly as significant as the day that you launch Windows XP. Think about that for a second. The date when you launch Windows XP has a significant impact on how long it takes Windows XP to boot. It's so weird. So someone put together an entire chart. I think it was probably Fios, but I'm not sure who exactly did the editing on this. Used in a sentence, I am gibbon to 72 zombies. I like that. Okay. So, regarding how does Minesweeper seed its RNG, that's what's relevant. It seeds it based on the current time and date. And that's actually where things get kind of messy. So, here's the note. It says, games that attempt to fetch the current time and date may not work correctly using the default system time in libTAS, which results in 2070-0101 because of how 32-bit signed integers overflow and how the epoch time is calculated in Windows and all kinds of other crazy things. To fix this, set the system time to a date between 2000, which is that epoch, and 2037, 1980-0101, to 1999 should also work. However, Windows XP is known to take substantially longer to boot up using system times in this range, and hence this is not recommended. But we basically discovered that for some reason, we don't know why, for some reason, these different times have wildly different impacts on when the system... I'm just going to dump this in really quick because I can. I'm going to copy this date just to see what it is. It says the starting time in epoch, but I want to know what it is in... Paste. This is 2001-09-09. So this time took 68 seconds, but the time we just used took 51, right? And we think it has to do with the time, daylight savings time check and time zone checks. But for it to be this significant of a difference is truly staggering. So, yeah. Also, welcome, hacker. It's due to the janky way they calculate the Gregorian calendar, huh? Also, yes, happy belated birthday. You helped to debiggen some of the cake. I love that usage. I do appreciate I engibbened 72 zombies. That's also a lot of fun. Windows will definitely break with some ridiculous time settings, yes. Now the question is, what valid times can we manage to get it to use? The date is too early, boot slower. Yeah, that's pretty much. Setting the system post-boot could work. Let's find out. So I would like to... Can you re-smallin something that has been embiggened? Yes. I can take a balloon and I can pop it. Yes. Anyway, Ken Mary Dale, that's your thought. That's your shower thought for the day. There's a gigantic if-else tree for leap year handling. It's hilariously dumb. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. Oh, okay. So, let's go back to Windows here. And I'm going to bust out some tooling that I need to go locate. Let's see if I can find this script quickly. Before I lose your attention, everyone who's still watching because I've been charismatic on this stream, thank you. I will continue to attempt to be charismatic, but it really helps that you guys are interacting in chat, so keep it up. Thank you so much for that. What I'm doing right now is I'm locating a script that is designed to set based on... let's see if I can find that batch file. Let's see, from... this was my buddy Funkmaster MP, who was messing around with stuff. Has file. Okay. Oh gosh, this is every file. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. Let's see. So it's going to be. Let me look for the word batch instead. Funkmaster, let's type the word batch. I'm going to find it. I know he made a batch file. Nope. Okay, this is going to be harder to find than I thought. Okay. I know that that there was something else that I was there was a batch file that was going to convert the time for me, but that's okay. I don't actually need that. Okay, back to chat for just a second, trying to catch up. Yeah. You are absolutely correct, Toho. It is very inconsistent. Considering how much of a nightmare time is in computing, I wouldn't be surprised if it was some box of code that's been copy-pasted since 1983. You're not wrong. Leap year handling is definitely hard to do, and you should not do it. In fact, why are we doing it again? I know why we have leap years. That's not what I mean. But why do we continue to make it so much harder? I think the leap second is probably best handled with smearing. Have you tried turning it into Wumbo? I'm not sure what that means. Right? Yeah, I'm glad that there's someone in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much for all the folks in the YouTube chat that have been contributing valuable and insightful commentary on the silliness of Windows XP. Especially Phil. Thank you so much for that. Okay. See, Coden, you're watching out of blind faith. Okay. Yeah, time zones are a thing, Jungle. You're not wrong about that. that is the path of dragons. Let's just say 1 year is 365 days and 6 hours. Okay, that might get really messy. A negative leap second. Yes, that will make everything so much more exciting. Has that happened before? I seem to recall there was talk of that happening at one point. Of the proposal of having a negative leap second. But man, it's amazing what can blow up in horrendously funny ways when you do that. Okay, back on topic. There are a couple of specific tests I want to run, and you guys are more than welcome to influence me in what I do. What we've now established is, let me just back up here really quick and reiterate where we're at. Oops, F2. So, just to kind of throw this out here, if I get this up here a little bit, move it over here. All right. Just to throw this out here, we are currently booting Windows XP, and you can see the blue bar at frame 5178 is now visible at the bottom. And then there's a brief blip where it showed just a line, and now it's got the clock. At this point, I'm pretty confident that we could hit Control-R and start running a command. Now, because we did this on the other video that took so much longer, the other date that took so much longer, I bet that we will see some interesting behavior. Because think of it this way. We're still booting the operating system. This just popped up. If we wait a little longer, now the speakers popped up. We are still booting the OS. We haven't even made it to the point where the system is not fully pegged at 100%. I'm half tempted to pull up Task Manager, which will take it even longer because, Task Manager is going to have to load too. But I'm half tempted to pull that up just to see what the load is like. Still, wait all this time, and then finally we get to the point where we're now running WinMine. And because we had a different amount of time elapsed from the perspective of the operating system, even though the number of frames from boot to when we started Minesweeper was the same, it's the same exact frame count, but time moved underneath Windows differently. And therefore, if I were to, at this exact point, let's go to recording mode. I'm not going to save this. Let's just start free running here. Remember that last one? It was a totally different pattern. Last time it had a big field on the right. And this time we've got something different. So, same exact sequence of button presses, same exact frames even. But because Windows moved at a different time underneath all of that, and the number of seconds that elapsed and the amount and the time it was when we started Minesweeper, all of those factors meant that when Minesweeper initialized its pseudo-random number generator and pulled the seed saying, what date is the system set to, and then based its generation off of that, it started with a different seed, and therefore we deterministically got a different outcome. Now the question is, how do we reconcile this with the fact that we've now demonstrated in this stream, mouse movement makes Windows boot longer or slower. The time that you boot makes it go faster or slower. For instance, this big table of what date you boot the system on. The tools that you have installed make it different. Which now it's more of an assumption that the tools that you've installed is going to make it take a different amount of time. But we have all of these different elements that we're fighting with. And then there's the additional element of, hey, we were trying to launch Minesweeper while the speaker was still loading in the notification bar, and other things in the background were still running. So all of that is tacked on too. My take is that in a break from the tradition of TAS videos movies, where things like DOS Out of This World waited for the entire operating system to boot and install its game, and included that time in its final task time, I assert that we should allow Windows to reach a steady state where it's no longer loading stuff in the background before we start timing against the tool-assisted speedrun itself. That's a dicey. I'm playing with some crazy stuff here. Normally, I would say, yeah, the OS time has to be included, and in DOS that made sense. I mean, I'm not going to be able to get the same determinism out of Windows here. It's just not going to happen. Okay, let me catch up with Twitch chat first. Oh, that's interesting, Mr. King. The, Futurama is on point there. Oh. A 2-week notice that Pebble that they just weren't doing daylight savings time anymore. Okay, sure. Ooh, P. Jonas, afraid that a president of a separatist region will announce a time zone change in local news in the local language no one will know. Okay. Falcaron, thinking about the shape of leap second drift. Sawtooth wave, yeah, you're not wrong. If it was a square, sign, or triangle, you could see you getting away with balanced leap seconds. Yeah. I see no path to cursed negative seconds either. That's pretty bad. You spent most of your professional career, Mr. King, dealing with Windows being non-deterministic. Very true. Okay, I'm going to stay away from the political conversations. Okay. So a vote from Iced Dream. I'm sorry. From Ice Dream streams. The run itself shouldn't include the Windows boot up, but the Windows boot up has to be part of validating the run. You are correct. You are correct. And I'm proposing that we split the run. We make a validation run that boots to a specific state, has the clock set, has everything else in place, stops, and instead of starting from boot, from power on, like this, right? This even says, oops, wrong window. This says, if you look at it, it says start type power on. Start type power on makes perfect sense for most everything. But I think we need a verification movie that gets to the desktop after everything else stops moving. And then another movie that comes up after that to actually do the tool-assisted speedrun. Now, you still need both. You still need both. And the task will have to include what time and all the other stuff so that it is consistent for a publisher and the judges and whatnot. By the way, we already have to make a movie. And I'll play this while I'm reading through chat because it's hilarious. We already have to make a movie for... Let me pull this up. OS installation movie. Check this out. We already have to make a movie, a TAS movie. Okay, let me get this just a little bit and begin. Let me watch on YouTube. That'll make it easier. That's better. We already have to make a movie for the purposes of installing Windows. It's nutty. So, this is the movie that installs Windows XP. I'm just going to let this run while I catch up with chat. I'll fast forward it in a second. Vandalite, by the way, I'm glad to see you on the stream. So, Liam, I don't believe that there are any existing PCEM runs of Windows. So we are in an uncharted territory. That's never happened before. And I admit that I do have an outsized influence on TAS Videos because I am a senior staff member of TAS Videos, and I am able to kind of talk to staff behind the scenes. But it's not my choice. It will not be my choice if whether TAS Videos accepts this or not. I'll have to submit this just like anyone else, and then bureaucracy will happen. Hopefully nothing bad, but bureaucracy. Okay, B. Jonas. What I mean is the boot settles and the processor isn't running at full tilt, things like that. Hey, Mr. King, you get yourself off to date night. Glad you had some fun. The further we go with Windows, the worse this gets, too. Yeah, it is. It is. Falkrion, this is Linux. That's what's crazy. So, I'm in Linux natively. So we're running Windows under Linux inside of an emulator. I happen to be running Linux Mint because I like it. You can hate all you like. I don't care. Everyone has an opinion on which operating system is best and which distribution is best. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. Okay, I went too far. Let's back that down. There we go. Okay, get that out of the way. Okay, let me check Windows. Let me check YouTube chat because I haven't. So setup is going to load. It's now finally loading the compact adapter, AdaptTech. Remember AdaptTech? I don't remember AdaptTech very well. They kind of disappeared. So let's fast forward past this. Setup is formatting. Setup is copying files. Let's get to the interesting stuff. So we'll get out of the blue and white screen, get all the way to... Yeah, here we go. Now we're rebooting. The Voodoo 3DFX. Yeah, there we go. So this is literally a tool-assisted speedrun video that's installing Windows. So this is it reboots into this. Anyone remember these screens? Reboots into all of this. I'm just going to fast forward through all this. Got to set your time. Got to set all of that stuff. Get through all of that. Get through all of that. It unchecks daylight savings time. All that. All that. All that. 2 minutes. Okay, here we go. Now we're booting. Okay, we're gonna watch what happens after it gets to a boot. This whole movie is an hour long. Installing Windows XP was not fun, and this is as fast as you could do it too. Okay, I've completely ignored YouTube chat. Let me go check that. We need to debiggen the calendar, huh? Time dilation is a good way to phrase it, yeah. You are correct. This is what we get for teaching sand to sink. You are not to think. You are not wrong about that. So, Televis, I don't know as if anyone's abusing it. It's just because most RTA speedruns aren't doing it from boot. When games round timers the wrong way, so second 0 lasts for a whole second. Oh no, that's bad. I'm not using XP Pro. This is Windows XP Home. Yeah. Boot to idle is probably the best phrase for this. Thank you so much for using that phrase. Kiara, don't worry. It's okay if Linux is intimidating at first. We're here to help. Swing by discord.gg/TASBot. We have a Linux, Unix channel. We'll give you any help you need. Honestly, I talked to a couple of folks recently about the problems they're facing in Windows with telemetry. And I think I would prefer the problems that I run into, which I'm not saying that any operating system is without problems. I think I prefer the class of problems I run into here much more than the class of problems that I end up with in Windows. Just being forthright. But yeah, use whatever works. There are folks that use Arch and love it, and we have one in the chat. I'm not one of those people. I like Debian-based distributions. So we need to emulate Homeless because, sorry, Homeless, we have to use an emulator because we need to have consistent timing. This isn't technically a virtual machine. It's technically an emulator. Ooh, yikes. Ow, Toho, that's a hard story. I'm so sad to hear that Windows nuked your files. The task starts with manufacturing the parts for a 2001 PC. Oh, gosh. Okay, I don't feel like waiting any longer. Let's jump ahead. This first boot just takes forever, and then this takes a while. Okay, so let's just get to here. We're skipping all the way ahead to this. In fact, I'm going to skip all the way to this. Okay, so this is the first boot. You're getting the take a tour of Windows XP harassment. Ignore the fact that it's captured kind of bad. So now it's going to have to go through and it's a task that's literally doing the installation of all of the drivers. This is so bad. Okay, what's our quality level? We're currently watching this in 4K. Okay, let's see what else I missed in chat. Yeah, Linux has issues, but they're not always your fault. I mean, it just depends. You were trying to get Arch installed for the first time and it wouldn't boot. That's typically how most people's first installs of Arch go. Okay. Choice of console because I still don't understand why you aren't just using a much earlier version of Windows. So B. Jonas, that's because the only accepted configuration right now is Windows XP. Until another configuration is created and sanctioned, this is the only one we can use. There probably will be a Windows 3.1, probably a Windows 98 SE install at some point. I don't anticipate it. Now, it is possible. It is theoretically possible that we could support all three of Microsoft's best operating systems. Work with me here for a second. We could make a sanctioned environment for Windows CE, ME, NT, Windows Cement. Right? We could do that. I don't know if we're going to. I'd rather not, frankly. But we could. Anyway, there's the Sound Blaster install. I gotta get caught up on chat and actually do something useful for you guys. Ooh, Toho. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Backups are important. If you don't have two verifiable copies of your data, you don't have your data. Oh, yeah, right? This is automating my job in 2004. Okay, I did this on yesterday's stream, but just for the sake of the absurdity of it, especially for the folks on Windows. Toho, I agree. Just for the sake of the folks that are on the YouTube side. I had a job where I was installing Windows XP over and over and over again. This was circa 2002, 2003. I was in an employer I won't throw under the bus. I had to install Windows so many times that I ended up with we had a volume license key. Anybody remember those? WX736 8YJCM 2JW33 4K JGY XCDJ6. Totally stolen VLA key. I didn't know it. My employer stole a key. And I was installing it over and over and over again for years to the point that I memorized the dang thing and then found it online. Yeah, that's how you know. That's how you know someone is not lying to you when they tell you they installed Windows XP a lot. Anyway. All right, let me finally get caught up with chat. I'm like way behind here. Right? Phil? It is. I mean, I'm not the one that stole it. It's just what was used. Now, you might have noticed I skipped over it, but there's actually no VLA key used here. No key at all, in fact, used here. Windows is not activated. You can see if I move my mouse out of the way, there's the activation keys down here. This will get turned off later on in the install. Oh, hey, welcome to us, Televis. So I'll wrap up what we've done in a second. Let me just quickly catch up with Twitch chat, because I'm behind on that. Trying to keep up with 2 chats is really, really hard. Yeah, Toho, I'm kind of amazed that I pulled that out of my mind. Phil, I kind of wonder if they knew what was going on and just turned a blind eye to it. Because they could make more money off of investigating a company that was using it wrong and getting them for fraud, I suspect. Not sure. Teaching Sand to think was possibly a mistake. Yeah, there were theoretically automated install tools, and then I messed around with things like BartPE and all kinds of other stuff back in the day. So long ago. Those are long, long memories. Does anyone else remember BartPE, by the way? Oh, yeah. iStream, you are correct. If someone does want to check out Linux for the first time, I do recommend Linux Mint just because of the ease of the Cinnamon interface, and you can just write it to a USB key, boot off of it, never do an installation, and just check out the operating system without having to worry about anything permanent happening to your system. As soon as you're done, power off, pull the USB key out, boot to Windows or OS X or whatever. Again, it's a great way to at least taste it. Okay. Almost down to the bottom of chat. Trying to read the general guidelines on what it says about choice of console because I still don't understand why I'm not using it earlier. Okay, I got to that one. So B. Jonas, here. Let me just pull out the page. I'll show you. This will make a lot. I'm going to leave that window in the background. If you look at the emulator resources, PCEM. So go to this page. I'm going to drop it in chat. So in the PCEM page, you'll notice that there are a number of configurations that you're allowed to use. But there's only one Windows config, right? Oops, sorry, let me go back. So, what you'll need installing your game. Where is it on here? Here, emulate compatible machine. PCEM can emulate a variety of machines, but we only accept systems representing an era of IBM PC games based on release date and system requirements. We accept 4 machine configurations for DOS and only one for Windows. So it has to be this at this time. We might support other ones on TAS videos later. I say this with my senior TAS videos hat on. But we haven't even had one submission for Windows, which is what I'm trying to fix today. So this is kind of a... We'll get to it. Okay. Ooh, this is a good remix. Yeah, don't run a productions system off of a temporary, ephemeral live USB. So let's just pull this up really quick. Paste. Yeah. So this is the full instructions of exactly how to install Windows XP such that other people could get it. Keep in mind, we must have something that's reproducible and deterministic, B. Jonas. Without that, we can't make something that the judges would be able to judge. How's our install going? Oh, tell that to the Docker people. That is kind of funny. There was a Surface built into Windows Server that allowed for creating images that could be flashed over the PCs without networking. Yeah, that was kind of interesting stuff. Hey, Balthazar, good to see you here. Hey, Trunifor, glad to have you. Yes, sysprep. Liam, so if timing from boot is the way forward, what's the mean for the Doom wads? The Doom wads are different because they have their own, was it LIMP? What was the name? LMP, I think it was? LMP files? Doom had its own built-in re-recording framework. In fact, it was the first thing to do so. In many ways, you could make the case that Doom invented tool-assisted speedruns, whether intentional or otherwise. Oh my gosh, mostly harmless. Yeah, if they'd blacklisted that code, they might have. Norton Ghost was definitely a tool that I used a lot. That was the professional tool in the day. I'm using was it Mozilla Clonezilla, that's what it was. Oh, I remember Hiron's boot CD. I found a bunch of them in the cakes of CDs I had. It was actually pretty funny. Phil, yeah, we're just gonna ignore all of that. Hiron's was, yeah. Oh, I remember WannaCry. Oh my gosh, that was such a bad day. Okay, who else remembers the Windows XP era having some of the most absurd viruses? We had one that got put into an image, and every time someone would restore it in the test lab, the whole lab would get infected again. Yep. Oh, yeah, the era when LimeWire was starting to die. Okay, so, I've gotten way off track here, but I'm finally caught up on chat. That was not an easy thing to do. I will do my very best to keep track, but y'all are keeping me busy. How many are out there, actually? I don't know. There's 30 of you. Wow, nice. And then over on here, there's 50 of you. Hey, so many people. Thank you so much for stopping by. Okay, so we're now at the inflection point. I'm going to just pause this installation of Windows XP because we don't need that anymore. What we've now determined is that so reviewing the whole stream, especially for poor Televis, who asked a long time ago what the heck we were doing. I'm so sorry, Televis, that it took me this long to get to it. I hope you're still here. So Televis, if you managed to put up with me rambling for that long, here's what we're doing. I have Minesweeper. I picked the easiest game. It's already built into Windows XP. And again, we're using XP because this is the image that's accepted. I figured, hey, what the heck? Why don't I just poke at Minesweeper? And I started yesterday's stream assuming that this was going to be easy, or at least easier. And let me tell you, it has been anything but easy, because here's what we discovered. First of all, we discovered the hard way yesterday that if you move the mouse around while you're booting Windows, it takes a different amount of time to boot. So here's the mouse X and Y coordinates. We've made them all 0. We then subsequently discovered, and this was a real messy up in the head kind of thing, we discovered that if you don't click at some point, yeah, I'll get to where it is. Super L, right here. If you don't click, someone who knows Windows XP knew the answer to this, but we did not know this yesterday. If you don't click, Windows doesn't recognize the mouse moving because it never loads the mouse driver. I had no idea that was the case. I did it instinctively when I used XP. I just did it. I just clicked the button without thinking about it. But I didn't know. Anyway, so we discovered that. Then this was the real fun one. We discovered that the time that you set the computer to boot at, in this case 2001 versus 2023, drastically changes how much time it takes to get to the desktop. We did a couple of tests just now where we took this movie file, this TAS movie file, where we're launching WinMine. In other words, we're launching Minesweeper on Windows. And we discovered that even though it's launching it on exactly the same frame, because Windows took less time to boot, among other aspects, including the fact that we changed the time, Minesweeper came up with a different result. Now, I want to do one more thing. I'm going to add in another variance. We have the time that we started the computer, and then we have the contents of the disk, of the the hard drive, and we have the movie file that we have right here. This that starts trying to type WinMine on frame 7171. I'm going to do something cruel. So I'm going to stop the Windows VM completely. So let's close this window out. Don't save any of my changes. Now, when we started this stream, we started with this. Diablo 1.0 installed.img. We're going to copy it over the top of Windows XP.img. So we are now changing out Windows out from underneath this movie file. But what we're not changing is the date that it's starting, right? So we're starting it at a date in 2023. Now, I'm going to launch this. We'll pause on the first frame, make sure that everything's copacetic. My expectation is that we'll get a different pattern than one we just had on screen. But we'll find out. We'll find out. What shouldn't change is the time. We should, in theory, unless there is a significant delay in how long it takes Windows to boot, we should, in theory, take exactly the same number of seconds from boot to get to that state where we launch Minesweeper. So let's start this, get this kicked off. Televis, please feel free to ask any questions you have about what I was doing. So this is technically Windows Service Pack 3 that we're using now. And yeah, the issue is still there. So Kara, I don't know if I would call it intentional degradation of the OS. And it's actually the other way around because it was slower with the earlier date. So if anything, it's the other way. It seems to be running really bad code for what time zone you're in and whether you have leap seconds and things like that. Oh, no, you said copacetic at work and somebody gave you a blank stare? Ah, well, that's a shame. The crux of what I'm trying to say is that it was okay. Okay, we're almost there, getting booted in. Minesweeper, where a mime pretends to sweep and nothing gets cleaned. Okay. Ghost Cat's multicast function would desync, huh? It would image two machines off of your file server, and then those two machines would image two more machines with another. Oh my gosh. Balthazar, that sounds crazy. Okay. We're at frame 5000. We've already booted into the operating system. I'm going to make a save just in case we want to mess with this, but I don't anticipate it. I'm going to let this continue to run. Rexrath, look, I'm people. Oh, raise your hand if you're not here. Okay, fair. Windows Deployment Services. Yes, that was right, Community. I remember that now. You watch Danoct1 and his malware reviews, huh? That's fun. Okay, we've now started Minesweeper. So, I'm going to put this in recording mode. Now, in theory, I should have... Okay, I made a mistake. I'm going to back up. But I made that movie so that I could do just this. Remember how I said I was making a safety save just in case? Let's go to 7171. So this is going to have to play back through from the save state, but that's okay. And I'm going to frame advance forward until the exact frame. By the way, we can see the time advancing over here. It's 21:31. Yeah, that's on screen. Okay. Let's advance forward until Minesweeper launches. Oh, I went back too far. Something like, okay. Let me rerun this. Hang on a sec. I went too far. Just waiting for it to catch up. Okay. So 7197, 98, 99. Okay. On 7199, well, the time was okay. I need to make sure I document this. Booting with value. 7. Let's see. Let me type this out. Minesweeper. Epoch time value 1700. Able to launch on frame 7199 of 2023 11 14 T22 1431Z. Okay, so unfortunately I have to go back to the previous image and compare, but now that we have this, let's now compare the outcomes. So I'm going to set it in recording mode. Oh, darn it. Well, that doesn't help me. I needed to see the playfield. Hang on. I'm just going to hit F2. Okay, let's run that again. Playback mode. Okay, now we're in playback mode. We'll let that play back. Get back into Minesweeper. Sorry, this takes a bit. I don't really care how long it takes at this point, because we already know from yesterday's testing that it makes no difference whatsoever. Okay, there's that. Okay, so now we are in here. Let me go to recording mode. Let me try to pick better. Okay. So, now I'm going to use my snipping tool. No, I want to do this different. If I'm going to do this, then let me just do it with this section. I only care about Minesweeper itself. All right, there we go. We're going to take that and paste that in. Bam, I love Obsidian. This is not a paid advertisement, but it sure is nice. So that's the pattern that it made. The difference between messing around and science is that when you're doing science, you write things down. Okay, so now we've recorded that. Let me boot the other image. So I'm going to stop this, say no, don't save the image. Game was closed, that's fine. Now we're going to copy fresh.img over. And let's boot that up. Okay, and then I'll check in with chat. So this is Obsidian. I'm just using it for some quick note-taking. It's really helpful to have that on hand. Okay, there's that. Let's I like things in Markdown. Makes it really easy to take detailed notes. I'm going to do the same thing where I make an emergency... Oops. No, don't do that. I wanted to save it, not load it. Okay, made an emergency save. All right, now go forth and load. Okay. Let's check Twitch chat first. Sorry, I'm falling behind. Yeah, Vandalite. Yeah, the Hirons boot CDs. But I note that the current Hirons is a lot more open source software. Ah, yes. Anyone had a Smash replay go haywire because something got mismatched with the input recording? A Smash replay. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, well, we certainly messed around with Smash, Super Smash Bros. Melee a lot. Okay, let's see what else. Same is true in Windows 11. Sometimes your mouse doesn't appear when you boot until you click the button. Yeah, it does seem to still be that way. And yes, that's correct, Liam. It's jank because of the calendar. Yep. More people should use the word copacetic. It's a good word. Okay. Let's see. Wait for just a little longer. Okay, that's about right. Let's make a new save state here. Okay, save created. Well, let's continue going. I'll try to stop it at the right time. Oh, a Mythbusters quote, huh? No, B. Jonas, we pretty much determined that it is, in fact, the time. It appears to be the really bad handling of daylight savings time. This is a cool metal remix. I like it. Okay, we're almost there. All right. So it types in windmine, and the first frame that it appears on is 7211. Okay. Let me just copy this section, epoch. Able to launch Minesweeper on frame 7211 with a timestamp and libTAS of 32. 32. Okay. Now, the moment of truth. The moment of truth. Let's see what we get. I'm going to put this in record mode. We're going to let this free run. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what that is, but that's definitely a different field. That's definitely a different field. I'm going to load this because I want to get one that doesn't have a mine in it. So let's do F2. And this time we're just going to let it free run because I don't care. Oh, wait. F2. And put it in playback mode. I think I just nuked it, though. Oh, well. I think I nuked it on accident. Let's see. I didn't ever save it, though, so let's find out what happens. It might still be there. Yeah, I'm fairly certain I nuked it. Let's find out. It's in the 7,000s, though. Still not there. Nope. Okay, we're fine. Okay. So this time I'm going to put it in record mode. It's okay if I had nuked it because I could have just fixed it. Oh gosh, come on. Okay. Now, well, let's take a screenshot of that. I have a keybound so that I can just grab this. Okay, so as you can see, there are definitely differences in those two results. However, we were off by a full second. So now I have to do something tricky. Now I have to delay. I have to delay the other one. All right. This is something that I need to understand this better. Let's just expand this window out just a little bit, because think about this for a second. We took an image here with Diablo installed in it. It literally had Diablo installed in it, the whole thing, and it had an extra driver for some other. We did other things, like we installed a couple utilities. So this Diablo installed image has extra stuff in it. And it was able to launch on frame 7199. However, the completely fresh Windows XP image, in other words, what you would get after you finish installing the operating system and have completed everything and shut down, It launched on frame 7211. Now, unless I'm making a mistake, 7199 is less than 7211. So think about this for a second. A disk image, a Windows installation that had more garbage in it, took less time to boot. How does that happen? Okay. I never predicted that. I mean, we've obviously got the evidence right here that it really did happen, but that's not what I predicted. This is the kind of stuff that'll make you go crazy. We're doing actual science here, by the way. We're doing. Now, it's not necessarily scientific because we just have a whole bunch of random garbage in here. We're not controlling all the variables. There's a lot of variables changing it, so on and so forth. But this is science. Okay. Billy, it doesn't generate. So if the first time I click, if there's a mine under it, it'll move it to the upper left corner. So that will make an impact. But it won't change what the field is because I've already gone through the process of seeding it and generating it at the time that it was launched. So that I don't have to worry about. Yeah. Yeah, Windows doing back and iStream, I keep messing up your name. iStream, this is exactly why I'm starting to get to a point of we need to wait for Windows to get to an idle state. Like the install movie should wait, or not the install, the verification boot movie should wait until Windows is in an idle state to try to reduce the amount of non-determinism. Yeah, Billy, that's what it does. So it'll always just move it to the upper left. We figured this out yesterday as well and confirmed that it was the behavior. Okay, I'm going to switch over to the poor ignored YouTube chat. So sorry. Your conspiracy theory was dashed. Do I know if Valorant's anti-cheat is still bypassable in a VM host? I have no idea. That's outside the context of what I would attempt to do. That's not my game. I don't mess with that kind of stuff, ever. Rexwrath, I'll just have to read your comments on both channels, which is not the worst thing, ever. There are certainly worse things that could happen. Let's see, where was... a lot of system files are signature check, yeah. Enforced driver signing until Vista, that's correct. Yeah, Vista was the first one that required driver signing. Ryu, well, glad to see you. And yes, I am definitely running Mint. I love Mint. It just works is the thing. And you can see that I'm doing a whole stream and things are just, you know, working. And I can really quickly take screenshots and so on and so forth. Right? Melee's code is pretty crazy and does make Metroid Prime look like it's tame in comparison, but Metroid Prime is a complete mess. If I don't mind staring at C, you recommend taking a peek at the decomp project for Melee? Nope, I will pass. Thank you so much. I took one glance and went, I do not need to be a part of this. Toho, what you have missed is, I think, summarized in what I described earlier. Basically, this stuff that I've written on screen. So yeah, the seed is set when the program is first opened, but if I were to press the smiley face and generate a new seed, then it would go into a deterministic pattern, or sort of. I mean, okay, it's kind of hard to explain. It's not exactly deterministic, but it's been fully decompiled. Really? Phil, I didn't know you were involved in that. That's cool. Win 11 might wait for a click because of the touch screens are much more common nowadays. That's fair. So if I loaded from a completely different full disk soft diskette, by the way, welcome back. You were here yesterday, I think, as well. I think you were anyway. I remember your name. So I assume that we did in fact prove that it does take a different amount of time. PC weirdness at its peak is an understatement. Yeah, Phil, I would agree with that. And this music is cool. Loving this. Yeah, Toho, you're correct. It never exactly enters an idle state, but idle enough. Metroid Prime's code is definitely... well... we did a tool-assisted speedrun presentation of Metroid Prime, and granted, it was dolphin issues more than anything, but wow, that game is really wild. Gotta be specific. Yes, we mostly the interaction of doors loading. Is it Pokemon Blue bad? Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Red, those were all pretty bad. You're not wrong. Yeah, and Liam is correct. The dirty secret is that all games are cursed. Okay. Here's what I want to do, and it's a ridiculous test. It's a ridiculous test. But I would like to know what happens if given all else as equal. Can we generate this same level layout? This one that looks like this with this big, long, I don't know, what do we want to call this one? This layout here that looks kind of like a dude with a really big beard sticking out and glasses on. Anyway, whatever this is, can we generate this if we delay the start of the program such that we start on frame 7211? So this is what we saw with 7211 with the time starting at 1432. Unfortunately, we both started several frames later, and we also crossed this barrier. So what I intend to do is to go back to the Diablo image that boots faster. Don't get how. It boots faster. Just, okay. I want to go back to that, and I want to delay the start of Minesweeper until it launches and starts on frame 7211. That means that we're going to take the inputs that we're doing, and we're just going to shift those down a little bit. Oh, no, wait. Hey, wait. Not Liam. You're L. Okay, sorry. It's the Silva Gunner, Siva Gunner thing. I still don't know which one. I think it's Siva Gunner, but I can never tell because it's... Anyway, I gather you are, in fact... LLAM? Emissar? I don't know. You tell me how you want me to pronounce your name. Like llama. Okay. All right. The font in my chat is not clear. Sorry about that. Llama. Also, APOC, welcome on the 7-stream streak. Congrats. This is, in fact, an effort to make a tool-assisted speedrun of anything in Windows XP, but what we're discovering is some crazy stuff. Llama Commissar, huh? Pull the username, Kronk. Wrong username! All right, so let's get back on track. I am going to kill this. Our next test is... Don't save that. Game is closed. That's fine. Nope. Stop. All right. Now we're going to swap the file out from underneath. We're going to copy Diablo's installed over to the Windows XP. I could really do this a different way, but I was told that symlinks don't play right, so I'm just not messing with symlinks. So I'm just copying the file over. Let's start the operating system. We're going to start Windows and PCEM. And again, the goal here is we want it to boot in a way that we get right before 7199. A little bit before that, actually, where we launch windmine.exe from the run menu. And we want to delay that from happening so that it actually launches on frame 7211. So that's the goal. I'm going to do a safety save here. Nope, I did it again. Safety save. There we go. There. Okay. Now let's let that free run. Okay, chat. I hope that you have enjoyed my chaos. It's been a fun stream, by the way. We've had some bizarre behavior I was not expecting. So I believe your name is probably pronounced Keira. 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 I don't know. I'm guessing Keira. Ah, names are hard. Yes, True4 is correct on the Twitch chat side. Yes. Chaos is the standard here. Sorry, Llama. I was not trying to cause you pain. Your internet pseudonym is Antidote. That's easier. Toho, I like that yours is easy. I don't have to guess. Okay, here in a little bit, around frame 6,000 or so, I'll save another save state. Kaira? Kaera. Kaera? Maybe? Kaera. Okay. Kaera? Did I say that right? Okay. Delay being what it is, it's hard to say what the last one was, but let's go with Kaera. Kaera. All right. Which actually means that I had it right the first time, but got mixed up in the middle, which is not a surprise. Okay, let's get to frame 6000. All right, we're going to make a new save state in slot 2. Now, we're going to be doing some monkeying here. So the delta between 7211 and 7199 is 12, right? Did I do that? I believe I mathed that correct. It's 12 difference. So in theory, we want to start this 12 frames later, but I have a funny feeling it's not going to work that way. So our goal is to get Minesweeper to launch and run on frame 7211. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here, right here, to frame 72. Let's see. I'm just going to click here, and this will cause it to fast forward. If I were to click here, you'll see it's actually fast forwarding to the spot. I'm going to make a save state 3 here, so we have some working room here. And I want to delay this from happening by 11 frames. So we're going to right-click here, insert number of frames, say 11. Now the question is, on what frame does it start? Okay. So it hangs around for a while. Okay, we were off by 1. Our goal was to have it land on 7211. We're actually at 7210. So we need to back up. I'm loading the save state now. I'm going to add 1 more blank frame. Just insert 1 here. And let's run through that again. Enjoying the music. Okay, 7210, 70. Oh, okay. All right. I added a frame. It did not result in a frame elapsing. I got to add another frame. It launched on 7211 and 7210 instead of 7211. Okay. All right, Windows, you just keep trolling me. It's fine. All right, insert. Now let's rerun for a bit. Our goal is to get it to launch on 7211 and have it fully open. Okay, we did it. All right. So we've now found the number of frames. We had to insert, what was it, 14 frames. So it was not just a 12 frame difference. I had to insert 14 frames. Just the weirdness of whatever the stuff is happening in the background. But now, let's pause for a second and examine. And I want you guys to make a guess of what you're going to see. First of all, the time matches. 22, 14, 32, 22, 14, 32. Everything is the same. We're on exactly the same frame. The exact same number of frames has elapsed from the moment that the system was booted to the time where it's launched. So the time perspective should be the same. What is your prediction, chat? Will we see door number 1, the same thing that we saw on the initial launch when it was launched earlier? Door number 2, the same thing that was seen at this exact same time offset, but with a different installation of Windows? Or door number 3, a completely new board? All right. Yeah, I'm not going to try to do a two-stream poll, but door number 3. Okay, so folks are betting door number 3. Now, here's how we're going to find out. We're going to go into recording mode at this point, free run it, and let's see, click here. Uh-oh. 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 Guess what? It was door number 3. It's an entirely different board. A very hard one, too. 1-1, that's safe. Good golly, this one's a much harder board. Okay, 1-1-1. Okay, all right. Okay, so there's that there. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is a mess. There. Nope, I hit a mine. Okay. Okay. So we got a different door. Let's just record it. Okay, so we ended up with door number 3, because it looks nothing like either of the other ones. Okay, you were correct. Door number 3. So, it's time to start decompiling how WinMine works, I think. Now, I'm going to be way, way out of my league. I know that the very original WinMine was fully decompiled. Like, fully. But we're going to poke at this from a different angle. We're going to poke at this from a completely different angle, and it's good. This is going to take the stream in a very different direction, but a very interesting one. So here's what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm doing at all, but by golly, we're going to figure it out. So we're going to take this Diablo image. Let's see. Actually, I'll mess with the WinXP image. This one here. Let me turn the volume down just a little bit. Excuse me, Windows XP.img. We're going to take this and we're going to open it with the disk writer. Oh, no, not disk writer, disk reader. Sorry, wrong one. Disk reader. Open with disk image mounter. There we go. Okay, we've now mounted Windows so that we can see it. And I now need to go hunt down WinMine. WinMine is somewhere. Where is it going to be? WinNT. Does anyone know where WinMine is located on the system? Is it stuck into System 32 or is it someplace else? Let's see. WinWS. I'm making a guess that it's System 32. WinZ, WinSP, GHIJKLMNOP, GK, WINMINE. There it is. Okay, so we found it. Now, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something really dumb. Really, really dumb. I'd first of all like to thank Vector35. They did not necessarily sponsor this stream, but they did help me with getting a wonderful copy of Binary Ninja. I'm specifically planning on using it for Diablo, but I don't think they're going to object to this usage of it. So we're going to open an existing file, and we're going to have to wander over our file system a little bit. So it's going to be mounted in Media, I believe, unless I am mistaken. Let's go find out. Media, probably Media, AC. There it is. Program files. System 32. Where is System 32? No. It's in Windows. Sorry, Windows. Windows System 32. I know these things. I really do. And this is going to take a bit. There's a lot of files. Yeah, iStream, you were correct. It's still loading. Okay, there we go. Woo! Wow. All right. Now I got to do it again. WIN A B C D E F G H I. I can totally do my alphabet. I promise. When chat. When help. When I'm. When mine. Okay. So, Binary Ninja is amazing. Binary Ninja allows us to see things that we otherwise wouldn't be able to see easily about what's going on inside of this. Now, we know that this whole thing has been completely disassembled. Binary Ninja is really handy. It's like Geardra or IDA Pro. Yeah, I probably could have. iStream. But this is going to allow us to view what's going on. And we can search for symbols. We can search for subroutines. It has a variety of different views that are kind of helpful. Depending on the type of data you're working with, I'm in the mood for a different song. Oh, no, you know what? This is a really good one. Okay, never mind. I like this song after all. I could look for strings. Open key. Get layout. Set layout. I like this remix. I'm going to be quiet for a sec. All right. I really like that song. Thanks for letting me listen to that for a bit. So I was just kind of clicking around, being very, very haphazard about it. But this is what you can do inside of Binary Ninja. You can kind of see how the game's program is laid out. Now, this game has already been fully disassembled, so I don't actually have to do this, but it can be really helpful to have a perspective of what you're looking at. Yeah. I stream. Sorry about that. Get tick count. Yeah, so let's see if get tick count is on here. Let's see if I can find tick. Okay. So that would be if it seeds based on the number of... let's see, search symbols. Okay. Extern std call. It is in fact using get tick count. Okay. So let's dive into these. So the first is get system metrics. Before that, get private string. Get tech count, okay. Extern, okay. Let me see if there's anything about time. Set timer. Kill timer, set timer, okay. Yeah, Balthazar, go ahead. So there's an SRAND. There's another SRAND. Oh, I know, Balthazar. This is just, we're going to get back to that in a second. By the way, Balthazar, do you happen to have the repo for that decompilation handy? That would be helpful. But basically, this is looking. Oh, thanks, Balthazar. I appreciate it. Oh, hey, Ray. Good to see you. Kara, can you help? All right, Ray, can you help Kira? They're getting auto-modded. Your dumb but harmless jokes are being auto-modded. I'm so sorry to hear about that. Hopefully we can fix that. Oh, yeah, Toho, if your question is, does it launch on frame 72, say 10 or 12, for instance? I don't know yet. So, yes, I can go back to 7210 and find out what it is. But that's okay. We already know that there's definitely randomness beyond just what time the system thinks it is. So, Phil, I'm glad that you have those tools available to you while you're working on Prime. Yeah, it would be very boring if all the text was white. How does Binary Ninja compare with Geardra? Geardra has been around longer. Binary Ninja is nice and slick. I've also known the Vector 35 guys for a while. They're fantastic. But on the other hand, that also means that I'm biased. But seriously, the Vector 35 folks behind Binary Ninja are truly upstanding human beings. Ray, we're just messing around with Binary Ninja. Don't worry about it. And then there's IDA, which no one loves, but everyone has to use. All right, so we popped into here because I wanted to see how SRAND was being used. Unit 32 seed. Okay, here's our seed. So I actually want to look up _seed. Oops. I keep doing that to myself. So I see it here, but it's not a symbol. Okay. Okay. So that doesn't help me any. Some people do love IDA Pro, but most people don't. Yeah, I'm very glad for the debug symbols. That makes a huge difference. Arrogant, huh? Ant Rat. I'm not going to try using that, but, you know. Oh, Illy, welcome. So I'm streaming on YouTube for your pleasure. So glad you're here. I'm sorry to hear that Detroit was not fun. Or at least the drive was not fun. So let's just take a look at this intrinsically valuable stuff here. Let me just open up another tab here. This is fine. It's fine. Let's use this one. Okay. So this is about WinXP Minesweeper. This was posted in 2017. I have now embiggened it to a readable size. So what were they doing to hack Windows XP? Let's see. ASLR, the addresses I'll be using, hard-coded. Okay, freezing the timer. Don't care about that. Hey, this is actually kind of cool. High scores are determined by the fastest sweep time, so clearly the timer is definitely something we want to target. Yep, mm-hmm. D. Smolland. Embiggened D. Smolland. Oh gosh, Phil, they really did remove all public pricing? Oh my gosh. That's terrible. What is the shortest possible sentence to make the largest amount of Linux users mad? The bloody screen, you are a horrible human being for coming up with that question. Probably, Windows is actually better than GNU/Linux because RMS is a god on crack. I don't know, something like that. Whoa, Phil, per seat? Good golly. Good golly, 10K per seat? No way. Okay, the pricing for Binary Ninja is not exactly free, but it's a lot better than that, and it does a lot of really cool stuff. So just throwing that down there. Just throwing it out there. It's a better choice. Okay, let's get to exposing the minefield. Okay. Right memory. Freeze timer. Okay. Exposing the minefield. Locating the minefield. The main goal of this game is to utilize hints to seek out all of... Okay. Sorry, I got tripped up by there. Seek out all of the safe cells on the given field. Well, these hints are great and all that. Let's make our own hints, okay? Requires a little bit more effort to trace. CE might not be able to help us. Situation. Debugger. Breakpoint. Entry point. Okay, don't care about that. Functions is begin paint, which sets up a particular window for painting. Let's see if we can find begin paint. There's begin paint. Imagine that. I don't know why it's in here twice, but... Okay, so this is... this location. Okay. All right. All right. And that doesn't include hex rays? Good golly. What's my desktop environment? I'm using Cinnamon over here. By the way, for those who are interested in more gaming-oriented things, don't worry. Most of my streams are not looking at Binary Ninja compilation, but I'm now invested, right? I'm now invested. I've got to know how this plays out. Illy, that is a great way to make people upset. Interesting, Kira. Ray, yeah, we've given you root access to a container, but we have kept you in a container. Oh, they named him Linus. Okay. And you are right, Overloader, especially ones that don't know when to stop changing things. I've been using, like, KMyMoney for forever, and it's just the right amount of change. They add incremental features, but they don't change the whole application. So I've been able to continue using it for something, well, since 2016. Ray, the CHO incident. Oh my gosh, that was... would you like to out yourself of what terrible things happened? Yeah, B. Jonas, you can get a real-time win like that, and we will be doing that later. Oh, wow, you wrote a function, a program that hooks in all the GDI functions and makes it draw on a direct 3D surface. Okay, fun. And it supports a Minesweeper. Nice. Well, I'm glad, Trunifor, that you guys are enjoying it. Oh, everything is a mess. Yeah, the Windows source code leak is terrifying. Yes, Raysama is right. Things were owned that should not have been. You have to be careful with them. Okay. All right, so we know that we can begin paint, sets up particular window for painting. We know that Minesweeper has to draw something, so let's search for the function that it implements. Begin paint, okay. Line it sets a breakpoint. Program the debugger will pause. I can't see the result because the pictures are all broken. Okay, whatever. The bit BLT function is what draws out each cell of the minefield. And as a set of instructions, we'll see that it looks like some form of loop where the ESI is a counter starting at 0. EBX is okay. Cells range. Continue running the game normally. Dump the memory. Don't care about that. Yes, there is going to be a very similar layout because that's expected. Okay, don't care about that. Okay. Okay. I don't know if this was actually that helpful because what he didn't do... Yuck. Okay, that was kind of interesting. What he didn't do is he didn't analyze how the pseudo-random number generator was actually seeded. He was more exploring how it works. So I need to find... So we'll have to hunt down the actual disassembly for WinMime. If you happen to find a repo with that in there, please let me know. Oh, gosh. Write in asound.conf. That is painful. Balthazar, I don't know as if that's actually going to be the case. So, but let's try it. So they found there was begin paint and then bit BLT. Okay, there's that. There's two references to it. One is here, the other's here. Bit BLT, okay. All right. I love this graph view, but okay. BLT. Yeah, I'm not SR copy. I'm not exactly finding what I'm looking for right out of the gate. Yeah, Ray root was not root anymore. Oh gosh, you run Gen 2? You're brave. You never found the list? Okay, that's fine. Anyway, so here's this. This list, which is exactly the same thing. And then there's this, which is... Okay, I'm not entirely sure I understand the difference what I'm looking at, but that's okay. RSRC and .text. Okay. Microsoft Detours. Huh? Oh gosh, the bloody screen. Don't ever do that. Don't ever... No one run what he just typed. Or sorry, what the bloody screen just typed, I mean. Okay, so I'm going to pause with this line of investigation. This would be more interesting if I had the full source code up and running. I'm not competent enough with binary reverse engineering to properly tackle this, especially since I come more from a Linux world. There are a couple of different directions I can take this stream, but I'm open to suggestions of what you would want to do next. Just to review where we're at, we've now conclusively determined that it's not just the second that you start on, because we created two different seeds with different disk contents, started the game on the same time at the same second, and got a different result. So, 1430. Oh, whoops! I never updated it. We know it did say 1432 on the screen. Okay. A bit bitter function, huh? Oh gosh, Truna 4, that was a crazy stream. And Timeshifter is still around in the community. That's a really good question. It was certainly the same from the perspective of how much time it had elapsed. The real question, though, and we need the source code to verify this, does it use get tick count, or does it use the date, like the time that it was launched? So, yeah, bit BLT is just an image transfer. Yeah, that bit block transfer, that would make sense. Okay. I need to manage my time properly. It is already 5:37, and I haven't eaten dinner. And I can tell that if I go too much crazier with this, I'm going to end up in a situation where I'm not comfortable anymore. I would like some food at some point. So I'm probably going to not take it too much longer. Thank you so much for the folks that hung around on YouTube and on Twitch. Much appreciated. I'm going to try to find somebody to raid on the Twitch side. I would love to stream longer, but I should probably go get some food before I start to get sleepy. So who is streaming right now? Oh, Funkmaster. We need to raid Funkmaster. I'm going to be streaming again next week. I will not be streaming over the weekend. I will be doing some outdoorsy things to get me out of the studio. Am I mentally sick? No. And you're not either. Okay, on the Linux side, we're going to raid Funkmaster MP. So, I'm sorry, on the Twitch side. So if you are on Twitch, make sure you give Funkmaster MP a TASBot raid message, or TASBot Go message, or Mr. Destructoid. If you're on the YouTube side, head on over to twitch.tv/dwangoAC or twitch.tv/funkmastermp in this case. Doing the raid. See you guys later. Thank you so much, all.